All right, Amy and Marcy, hello, welcome. Oh my goodness, you've already got a baby wrapped up on you.
I have a big one.
Well,
Hey.
we are gonna turn off our cameras and let you guys do your thing. You guys look ready to go.
We're so ready. We've been so excited. Hi, thank you, Olivia. Thanks, Sarah and Olivia. Hi, my name is Amy. I am here with Marcy, and we are Adjoyn Baby Consulting. We're here to tell you today about our services, of course. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Give me a wave if you all right.
Yes, we can hear you.
Talk, of course, about our services, which are listed behind me, which I printed in reverse on my computer because everything's mirrored. We're also here to tell you Marcy's got a ring sling on, if you've seen. So she's going to give you some of our favorite ring sling tips. And then I'm going to do a very quick virtual car seat check to show you one of our services is also car seat installations. And we're doing them virtually right now, which are very fun. So we're going to do a quick snippet of it all the way at the end. If you have questions, drop them in the question box. But before we really get started talking about our services and stuff, I wanted to say thank you to Olivia, to Julia, Olivia, and Sarah of Opus Lactation for putting on this whole event. It's got to be just a ton of work to get all of us providers together and answering emails and all of that. So the event itself is just beautiful, and we're so grateful to be a part of this group and part of this experience. Both Olivia and Sarah have just been so dedicated to this event and to supporting us all. I can't imagine what their support is like for an actual client. So thank you to both of you. Thank you also to all the providers, the other providers that have been on and sharing their knowledge and information. This has been super great to drop in and listen to everyone speak about what they love. And thank you also to the attendees for being here and listening to us. And also, I mean, I just wanted to point out that everybody's pointed out that, like, Beth just had this great mantra, don't go it alone. Like, we're here to help you. You don't have to do this alone. But also I wanted to point out that, like, transitioning to all this virtual stuff has been an experience for us, but I can't imagine what it's like for you all, for you attendees and for you parents, navigating this journey. And now having to have this virtual component on top of everything else. It's just, I'm grateful for you for being here. I'm grateful to be able to serve you. I'm sure that I can speak for Marcy when I say we're just really grateful to be able to continue to do the work that we love. My services are behind me. Baby wearing, car seat installation, beers and babies are really what we're focusing on right now. We have a virtual happy hour for beers and babies, so check that out. All of our stuff's on social media, so I'm not going to spend too much time about what I am doing. Oh, is it reversed and then reversed again? That's funny if it's mirrored. All right, I'm going to throw it over to Marcy because she's going to share with us some ring sling tips. I've already kind of gone over your time. I know I can mirror my video. It's just hard because I'm on my phone. But anyway, I'm going to throw it over to Marcy because she's going to give us some ring sling tips. So Marcy, take it away.
Thank you, Amy, and totally ditto everything you said. Thank you, Olivia and Sarah, and everyone for being on with us. I'm currently wearing a ring sling. It's one of my favorite carriers to teach, and I could go on about it for like an hour if I had the time, but just to give a couple tips and tricks that I like to go over. Obviously during in-home consults, we can go over in much more detail questions you have. But some of the common questions that come up about ring slings is ring placement and discomfort in having rings slip down. One of the things that I see a lot is when tightening the ring sling, so you have your long adjusting piece to pull down and tighten. When you're pulling down, your rings will tend to slip down. If you take your fabric and pull over in the direction of the fabric, you'll have a lot less slipping down. I also like at the same time as I tighten, I'll lift up on baby's bottom, kind of get rid of that tension and pull at the same time. And that really helps me to get my rings to stay in place. If you still find you have slipping, you can start with those rings up higher. Some people, when they're really starting out, will even start with them behind their shoulder to allow for some slipping. Another tip is making sure all of your slack is towards the ring when you're tightening. If you start tightening and going down your fabric and it feels snug and then you start walking and then you get frustrated because your baby's slipping down, you might need to go around that other arm and really bring that fabric all the way over to the rings and make sure to tighten from there. And that's going to help you be a lot more snug and secure. And then as far as placement goes, people are often unsure with different body types, and one partner might be taller than the other, or you have different caregivers using it. Where should baby be on your body? Nice up and high on your chest. You can easily reach down, kiss the top of their head. You know they're in a good spot. And then I can also peek down, look at their chin, make sure it's not tucked down to their chest and they're not getting their airway obstructed at all. One of my favorite tricks for a ring sling, I often had babies who would fall asleep in a ring sling and they'd bonk their head into the rings. If you have even just a little bit of tail left, I like to take the end through my rings and pull through, and it makes like a little pillow for baby's head. So if they're moving around a little bit, they're not bunking into those hard rings. So that's one of my favorite tricks that I like to use for ring slings. And I'm not sure how much time we have left here, or if we're cutting it close. I think
you got time for one more tip.
Okay.
You got one more in your pocket. Of course you do.
The other tip is not over tightening your bottom edge. A lot of people feel like babies maybe not super secure in the bottom, and they'll take their bottom of their adjusting piece and really over tighten it. But where baby's bottom is supported is actually in the middle of the carrier. So the bottom, very bottom, is up between their knees, kind of like a little hammock, and then the middle fabric is where their bottom's going to be supported. So don't over tighten the bottom rail. I also really love, for starting out with ring slings, like I have a nice striped carrier. It doesn't have to be rainbow, but me and Amy love our rainbows. But having something with stripes really helps me to see that, oh, this purple section here is loose, and then I can find it here. So that's one of my favorite starters for ring slings. If you're looking to buy one new or used, look for a striped one. It will be very helpful. And I'll pass it back to you.
Right. And those are just some of our tips. And ring slings are an easy thing to start with because they really help us demonstrate a lot of things. But right now I'm going to go take myself outside to my car and show you all, what a virtual car seat check might look like, because it's a little bit weird doing it this way. My family is all hanging out watching TV and playing video games, but I'm gonna take you outside, so hopefully this will continue to work. One big tip, right, there's two things really to talk about when it comes to a virtual car seat check. The first one is installation, and one thing that you can really do ahead of time is just put your car seat in the car. I know it sounds simple, but it's a really easy way for us to start. Get sort of familiar with like the bells and whistles of your seat. What do all the buttons do and all that. I will of course talk through all that stuff in our consult, but then we go out to your car and talk about installation, which is the first of the two things that I want to talk about today. If you're using the lower anchors, we'd find where they are. If you're using the seat belt, like my children are too big for the lower anchors now, there's a weight limit on those. Then we would talk about your seatbelt not being twisted. The seatbelt would either lock in the car seat, or we want to lock the seatbelt itself. So we talk about how to do that. Really just orientating, where do you want the seat in your car? How are you going to install it? We'll check to make sure that it's sufficiently tightened with a whole bunch of tips that I'll give you here, because you actually want your seat to move just a tiny little bit, but not too much, less than an inch. So bye, Carl. But the second thing that we want to talk about in virtual car seat check is harnessing your baby in the seat. Because installation is really just only half of it, but that's definitely what we tend to focus on when we think about getting our car seat checked, is the installation. Really, harnessing is important too. So there's my messy house and my children watching TV, trying to distract them. Using like a rolled up blanket or a stuffed animal can be a great way to have a stand-in for a baby, even though, so we can practice harnessing, because the first time you do harnessing, you probably don't want to do it with your brand new wiggly baby and all of the, it's a lot of anxiety. So we're going to practice a lot virtually with whatever you can roll up and stick in that seat, so you know when to adjust your harness, how snug it should be, all that important stuff for car seat things. So to wrap up, I checked the chat really quickly and I didn't see anything, but I'm going to check. Oop, I just raised my hand. But to wrap up, you can find all of our stuff on adjoyn.com. Close the chat. More about Marcy and myself, more about baby wearing, car seat installations. Our group Beers and Babies is having virtual events every Saturday in our Facebook group and a little bit on Instagram. You can find us on Instagram. Marcy's on there. We're both on there for Adjoyn. I run a blog called Amy Wraps Babies that has a baby wearing challenge starting on May the 4th on Star Wars Day. It's called May the 4th Trimester, but it's all beginner carry. So come check us out on all the things. We're really excited to just keep serving you right now. I'll throw it back to Olivia and Sarah. Thanks again for putting on this event, you guys.
Yeah, totally. We've got a couple questions for you in the Q&A. So the first one is there a weight, what's the weight limit on using the bottom anchor options?
Yeah, so 65 pounds, and it includes your child plus the weight of the seat. So you need to know how much your seat weighs. I have a big old book about this big that tells me exactly how much every seat weighs, where the lower anchor connectors are, where the top tethers are in your whole car. So feel free to reach out if you're like, I have no idea how much this seat weighs. I also bring a scale and measuring tape to all of my appointments that have actual kids where the babies have been born, so we can verify height and weight. So we know, yep, we're good with using the lower anchors and just about how long we can keep using them.
Yeah, great. And then we've got another question here that says, I've heard it's not a good idea to wear baby looking outwards. Is this true?
This is an excellent question and something that we love talking about because there are so many like rules with baby wearing. I'm sure, I don't see Marcy right now, but I'm sure she's like, And there's so many rules. Some of them are really, really important to follow, like keeping baby upright, like Marcy was saying, and monitoring their airway the whole time that we're wearing them. But then some others are a little flexible based on you and your specific circumstances. So of course there are some guidelines to follow when facing away from you, but it can absolutely be done safely, securely, and comfortably for everybody, which is the right kind of set of parameters. And we're here to help with that. Great question.
That's awesome. Last chance for anybody to throw some questions in for Amy or Marcy. You guys have really like jam-packed this 10 minutes and filled it with great information. We so appreciate it.
What we tend to do, and really like we're just so grateful for having this opportunity to educate because we're kind of starved for being able to do that right now. So we're like, what can we pack in here?
Yeah.
Get a virtual car seat check. So we're just glad to keep educating. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, totally. And I just want to plug for a second, because when I was a private doula, I always sent my clients to you guys for this. When this quarantine is over, Marcy and Amy run a monthly baby wearing library event. Talk about that for just a quick second.
Yeah, Portland area baby wearing is our local like free group for baby wearing support. We do free baby wearing 101s with Adjoyn, which by the way, our 101s are tailored for new parents, but also professionals. So any other providers that might be listening, if you're interested in learning more about baby wearing, come take a free class and learn about how you can support baby wearing some more as an educator. But yes, Portland area baby wearing also offers free services. We focus mostly on in-person stuff, so we're doing a little bit virtual things right now, but you can always send us your questions. Come into our Facebook group, Portland area baby wearing official group, and put pictures, questions about what carriers to get, and we're super happy to answer, whether it's through PAB, whether it's through Adjoyn, whether it's through our Instagrams. Like, we just like talking about this stuff, so come on over. Thanks for that question. Good to talk.
Thank you guys for joining us today. It was great to hear from you, and I love all your carriers. They're so pretty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rainbow one is my favorite. Every time I'm always like, oh, that rainbow carrier.
Rainbows are good.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm going to share their info for y'all.
There we go. Man, that was boom.